Right, I think I've hit Tenterden. I think that's where I am. I'm not really too sure, to be honest. But let's head out and hope we're in Tenterden. There are about 10 charity shops, it reckons, in a 0.2 mile radius. So hopefully it's a bit of a mad one.
And we started off on a bit of a mad one because the first charity shop that we come across wasn't really a shop. It was almost like a cafe which had a little shop to the side of it. It was proper weird, but it was interesting. But I started going through the jackets and the coats and everything like that, and there really wasn't anything too interesting in them. Then I hit the trousers and the jeans, and I found a pair of Reebok track trousers. These were so sick. The only little logo they had on was the small one, like just under the pocket, which personally I really liked. But as soon as I see them, I knew I was going to pick them up because I thought they'd go perfectly with that grey Reebok sweatshirt I have. But that was it for this charity shop, so I headed out of there and headed more down towards the main high street. And the first charity shop that I come across was this Oxfam charity shop. And the first thing that I come across in here was this Timothy Taylor's polo shirt. This was really sick. It's from a beer brand in Yorkshire, or Yorkshire, is that the correct way to say it? I don't really know, to be honest. I've tried to Google it and I couldn't figure it out. But next to it there was also a Bambi t-shirt, which I don't show you very well because, to be honest, looking back now, I don't actually know if I even really realised it while I was in the shop. Who knows how I missed it. But apart from that, this Oxfam charity shop was pretty dry. So I crossed the road and headed over to this Red Cross charity shop, which literally has a British Heart Foundation shop directly next door. Like, what a dream. It couldn't get much better than that. But good thing it does have the British Heart Foundation shop next door, because this charity shop was really dry. There was literally nothing interesting at all in this charity shop. So I quickly headed next door and was quickly disappointed because I thought I'd found another like weird like niche kind of beer brand or something along those lines. But no, it was a group beer t-shirt. To be fair, the graphic on this was pretty cool, but I was massively let down. It was not what I was expecting. I then picked up this Belfast Island t-shirt to have a closer look at it. Who knows what I saw in this t-shirt, because that is horrific. But I then headed over to where all like the rest of the men's stuff was, where all the coats and the shoes and that were, and the first thing I come across were these like high top Air Forces, which were only £10 to be fair, but I think they were like a size 13 or 12 or something like that. They also had a pair of all black Superstars, which borderline kind of looked like school shoes. They were in a size 6, and I think those were like £18. But I started going through the coats and everything like that, and they kind of had this like army jacket looking thing. Not really too sure what it was, but it was kind of interesting. But then a couple of coats along, I found something a lot more interesting. I found this Trespass Coat, which I think might be more of like a vintage Trespass Coat, because I've never seen that badge before that it's had on the front, and as well it looks quite faded, so it might be a bit older. And as well, I'm gonna guess that it was older just judging by all of the little like marks and scuffs that this coat had all down the back of it. But I ended up heading out of there and heading down to the Demelza charity shop. In between these two charity shops, I did go to this little like bakery place, and it was absolutely amazing. If you're ever in Tenterden, I would 100% recommend like the vegan sausage roll thing that they do. But once I'd finished eating my vegan sausage roll and I'd actually gone in the Demelza charity shop, the first interesting thing that I came across were these Levi jeans. After I picked it back up after dropping them, I had a proper look at them, and I think the condition was really bad on them, so I didn't end up picking them up. I then found a pair of rugby boots that used to belong to Shaw, and as well I found a pair of Adidas shoes which were literally brand new. I think these are Adidas Oswegos, I'm not too sure, but the colorway on them was a bit nuts. But then I started to go through the t-shirts, and the first thing I come across was this Nike vest which had an embroidered center swoosh logo on it. I just wish this was a t-shirt, not a vest, because if it was a t-shirt I probably would have picked it up. But apart from that, there wasn't really too much else in this charity shop, so I headed down to our next charity shop, which was this Hospice in Weld. And in here they had a extremely small men's section, which was very lacking. I had a quick little skim through the clothes and I literally came across absolutely nothing, so I ended up heading out of there and heading over to the Pilgrim's Hospice charity shop, which had two signs on the front of the charity shop which said vintage and retro. So I had high hopes for this charity shop. I was expecting big things, and the first thing I was met with when I went in this charity shop was this very strange jacket. I've never seen anything like this before. The only thing that I could remotely like link this to was the Beatles. It was the first thing that I thought of when I see this. I have literally no idea of the value of this, but I wouldn't be surprised if this would have gone for quite a lot on eBay. But I kept going along the rail, and the next thing that I come across was this kind of cool like varsity jacket. I wish it just had some patches or some embroidery on it, but it didn't, so I weren't the greatest fan of it. So I moved on to where all the jeans were, and they had quite a lot of pair of Levi's in this charity shop, and as well they even had a pair of Lee jeans. The only thing was all of the Levi jeans and the Lee jeans were just massively too big for me. I would have definitely have bought the Lee jeans if they were in my size, but I then moved on to the t-shirts and I found this cool like Western movie style t-shirt. I thought it was interesting. They also had loads of like weird little antiques and just kind of like random cool stuff in this charity shop as well, but nothing that I was massively interested in. So I ended up heading out of here and heading down to the Sue Ryder charity shop, which was a really long way away from the high street, it felt like. But before I headed in, I looked at these signs that they had outside this like vintage shop, and they had some really cool ones. Looking back now, I really like the look of that Guinness one, but I ended up heading into the Sue Ryder charity shop and heading over to where the t-shirts were. They had this one t-shirt of Pele, and I'm not too sure who the other person is. I should really know because I think he's an English football player, and as well I should know because it is a really famous image, but even though it is, I weren't going to be buying the t-shirt. But apart from that, in here it was very dry. So I headed out of here and headed down to our next charity shop, which was this cancer research charity shop, which was very interesting because they almost had like the chimney to divide like the men's and the women's section. I thought it was kind of cool though, but it was very strange. But when I walked through the little archway, I hit the men's section and I hit the jeans to start off with, and to be honest, there was literally nothing really in there, and the same could be said about the sweatshirts and the t-shirts and all that. But I thought maybe there'll be something in the jeans that I've missed, and there was a pair of Wrangler jeans in there. They weren't nothing amazing, but it was something better than nothing. But apart from them, they were probably the only interesting clothes in this charity shop. But they did have some interesting, like, not toys, but I don't really know what you'd call them, like model cars maybe, of these like Eddie Stobart lorries. I thought these were really sick because I have the green one which is at the back. I was so tempted to buy the other two to have like the set, but I think they were like £8 or £10 each, and I don't feel like completing the set that much. I'm not that desperate for it.
But the only thing we got was them Reebok joggers in the end, but still a successful trip. But I really do hope you have enjoyed this episode of Come Thrift with me, and I really do hope to see you in another one.